to his right. Just underway. You'll recall last year, Lehigh set the all-time scoring record via the shutout route with a 51-0 victory over Cornell. And it's interesting to note that Lehigh has wrestled Cornell more than any other opponent. This is the 73rd time that Lehigh and Cornell have met on the mat.
Wrestling now.
Well, there's a great wrestling tradition, Shell. I alluded to that earlier, and
let's go.
I'm glad that irrespective of the score, that the coaches want the tradition to maintain, and Cornell comes down here in spite of the fact that they've got trounced pretty much, and Lehigh does not and has not traveled up to Ithaca. They come down here and they know where they start when they wrestle Lehigh, and that gives Hartman another takedown, makes it 4-1. I was saying to you, the referee out there does most of his coverage in the Eastern Wrestling League. Norm Pavlovsik is a name familiar to a lot of the people in the wrestling fraternity. He is editor of the Pennsylvania Wrestling Roundup.
Both guys improve the position now.
Currently is assistant principal at Bald Eagle Nittany High School. Did his grappling at Penn State for Bill Cole. An escape goes to Salamme, and the score now 4-2 with 56 seconds remaining in the first period.
If you're wondering how often Lehigh has wrestled Penn State, this year it will be the 71st time. They've wrestled against Navy 67 times and against Syracuse 57. But this is the
Let's go, guys.
Longest match. Incidentally, Lehigh has won 19 in a row against Cornell, and they've won 22 of the last 23.
There's a sprinkling of Cornell alumni throughout the audience here. I see Bob Spillman in particular. Bob, the local architect, prominent Spillman family are all Cornellians. Bob went to the Big Red, wrestled at the Big Red. Now the score 6-2 with 15 seconds coming up. 6-2 lead for Lehigh's Rick Hartman.
We have asked, well, we'll mention our wrestling trivia question at the beginning of the second period. First period come to a conclusion. No additional points at the end of the first period. It's Hartman of Lehigh 6 and Salamme of Colgate 2.
Lehigh, you're down.
Cornell, I'm sorry. Andy Noel, who has won 90, lost 71, and tied 1 in his career at Cornell. Today's wrestling trivia question, which was provided by Roger Cloud, Director of Sports Information. The last time Cornell beat Lehigh was back in 1959. Do you know the name of the heavyweight wrestler that year that won a 3-0 decision? And if you know, Larry, you keep it to yourself for a little bit.
Mason Staub.
Now, 1959, the last time Cornell won. What was the name of the heavyweight wrestler? And I guarantee it's a familiar name. Minute and a half to go, second period. 8-3, Hartman of Lehigh leading.
Eight to 3 on the board. If you saw that situation there at the end of the first period where there was exposure to the mat, a lot of fans were saying, geez, why don't you get in your fall? There's a takedown, making a score now 10-3.
Back in.
Pavlovsik, referee, bringing him back into the center. Hartman, the sophomore. His opponent, Salamme, is a freshman, both out of Ohio.
Got a minute 4 in this
But
period.
you now have to have exposure
Hold still now.
of the shoulders for a minimum of 2 seconds in order to get a near fall. Anything between 2, 3, 4 seconds, you get 2 points. From 5 seconds on up, you'll get 3. What we're going to eliminate in that is what Shell and I refer to as the cheapie. You'll no longer see those quickies of less than a second. You now got to maintain it for 2 full seconds in order to get a near fall. There's a 10-4 on the board. 35 seconds left. Second period. Lehigh sophomore Rick Hartman out in front by 6 points.
20 seconds to go. Second period, 10-4 lead. Rick Hartman of Lehigh, sophomore, against Gary Salamme of Cornell. He's a freshman. Interesting, Larry, this is one of the few bouts I can recall in a long time where of the 20 wrestlers starting, only 2 seniors will be on the mat. One for Lehigh.
And of course, that's if Yazzo wrestles. And of course, Watkins, I think, is a senior also.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Watkins will be the only Lehigh senior.
Lehigh, your choice.
And Mike Salm will be the only Cornell senior. Second period history, 12-4, Hartman leading.
Lehigh takes down position last period.
Third and final period. Well, Larry, we asked the question. The last time Cornell beat Lehigh was back in December 1959. 27 years ago in that bout. A junior from Lehigh won a 3-0 decision at heavyweight. You want to take a guess?
Now, son. Go ahead.
Jay Howard.
Wrong. We'll give you a hint. He's in the gym tonight.
Set.
And he probably doesn't weigh what he weighed then.
Tommy Hutchinson.
The name was Thad Turner. Thad Turner won 3-0 the last time Cornell won, but Thad won his bout.
All right. And you can't do that today. In wrestling, you can only wrestle one weight class above your weight. So you have to weigh. No, in the heavyweight class, you got to have a minimum weight of 175 pounds. And of course, now this year, another new rule that we've been talking about for years. What's the maximum you can weigh now at heavyweight?
And that, of course, this year will be 275.
That's it.
If you weigh more than 275, you don't wrestle for college this year, which eliminates, I guess, a lot of the large people that we used to see here at Grace Hall and Stabler.
13-4 lead with Hartman, with coming up in 1:15 left. Got a 9-point lead. Kid work his way towards a superior.
All right, let's go, guys. Shots.
Has the time advantage.
Back in.
Off the mat with 51 seconds left. Final period.
Both guys in here.
Right now, enough points on the board for a major decision, which would give Lehigh 14 points if Rick Hartman hangs on. He leads 13-4, and he has about a 1.5-minute riding time advantage. Half a minute to go.
Takedown would get him into a situation where we get a superior, win on 12 or more points.
When you consider last year that Lehigh won 51-0, Larry, in 10 bouts, that means you have to average better than 5 points per bout, which is an extraordinary total.
But that was a valuable takedown for the Cornell wrestler because he eliminated a superior or a major decision point by getting a takedown.
Let's go, both guys.
And Hartman not showing much zip toward the end here, and score ends up 13-6 plus a point time would be 14-6. Just enough to slip by 8 points and give him 14 points, a major decision, but lost what could have been a superior with 12 points.
Score at the end of the first period, Lehigh 6, Cornell